Ever since the 160X 3 Pro dropped 4 years ago, I've been hoping that Xtep would make us a shoe that feels just as great as the 3 Pro but lighter. Every year, I've been a little disappointed. This time, they've got a brand new dual-density midsole and a tweaked geometry. Could this finally be the ultimate race day shoe? Today, let's talk about the Xtep 160X 7 Pro. I started this channel to review Chinese running products. More importantly, it's my way of forcing myself to practice spoken English. I'm self-sponsored and money doesn't grow on trees. Whether good or bad, I will tell you, without filtering. Let's dive in from the specs. The official doesn't provide any numbers. That's becoming my channel's go-to opening line. Based on what I could piece together, the forefoot stack height is 30mm and the heel is 35mm with a 5mm drop. The midsole foaming tech is the same as last year's 160X 6 series, officially called injection foaming. The full name is injection molded preform foaming or injection molded embryo foaming. The injection molded refers to the molding process, while the preform foaming or embryo foaming is how the foam expands. I covered this in my 160X 6.5 video. You can think of it like fermenting dough into bread. Simply put, this embryo foaming uses an injection molding machine and natural gas to create a very fine gas cells in the midsole, which gives you quicker response. Even though Xtep added a plus to the Ace midsole tech this time, but visually, by touch, even by smell, that weird disinfectant smell, it doesn't seem different from the last gen. I think that plus probably refers more to the dual density setup rather than any real innovation in the foaming process itself. My size 45 weighs 251 grams. For a 2025 racing shoe, that's not exactly impressive. That's not good. Back in the 6.0 days, chasing ultra lightweight turned out to be a bad move, which forced them to release the 6.5 just to fix their mistakes. This time around, they feel way too conservative. Kinda gives off that a burnt child dressed fire vibe. The 7 Pro fits true to size like my most Chinese running shoes. For reference, I usually wear 45 in Chinese brands and 46 in Hoka and New Balance. After the basics, let's take a look at the details. My colorway is called Grand Slam, but for runners, 7 Star fits better. The upper features elements from 7 major marathon cities, like Chicago Bean, London Underground, the Big Apple for New York, and 4 others. I didn't buy it right at launch, hoping for a discount to save a few bucks and cut my video production costs. But this colorway totally got me hooked. I end up saving exactly $0. I'm kinda speechless at myself. The upper material is almost identical to the Li-Ning Feidian 5 Elite, very breathable but also very strong. That one-piece booty-style knit tongue is also like the 5 Elite. The heel padding is where that burnt child thing comes in, going from almost no padding in the 6 Pro to what seems like even more than a daily trainer. It's definitely comfier, but also soaks up more water and adds unnecessary weight. The upper is roomier than big brands' racing shoes. Not super roomy, but also not super snug. For my average to narrow waist foot, it locks everything in place. From the bottom, you can spot that golden-coated carbon plate. It's super rigid. Here is how the outsole looks after 40 kilometers in high wear areas. The 7 Pro is almost fully covered in CPU rubber. From what I've seen, most Chinese runners don't just use race shoes for racing. They also use them for marathon effort runs, threshold repeats, stuff like that. Consumer habits mean even Chinese racing shoes don't skimp on also rubber, unlike some that put just a couple toothpick-like strips on the heel. From that angle, the no good shoe weight kinda makes sense. It's because they are balancing durability too. Traction on this shoe was great. I had zero issue. With that out of the way, let's talk about the pros and cons of actually running in it. It's an incredibly fast racer, but it's also crazy firm at slower paces. At my marathon efforts, it felt stiff. There's not much cushioning or compression when my foot hit the ground, but I could feel plenty of foam under the pads of my foot to land on. That was my favorite part about the 3 Pro and the 3.5 Pro, and that's exactly why the 6 Pro and the 6.5 Pro didn't work for me. It's because of the way that the rocker starts. It starts kind of early. With my mechanics and my gait cycle, there is relatively less foam for me to land on, especially at faster paces. But for the 7 Pro, I'm landing almost right on the thickest part. At my VO2 max efforts, I feel like I'm putting enough force into the midsole on impact. The midsole doesn't bend easily, and when you suddenly apply a lot of force to it, that force has to return, and then there is a great amount of rebound, or a really explosive sensation the midsole is giving me. I think I would enjoy it much more at the faster paces than slower paces, because at that speed, it feels softer and actually absorbs the impact the right way. Some of my audience are super fast guys. I think everything I described as cons will be music to your ears. While wrapping up this video, I want to compare the 160X 7 Pro with some siblings from both Chinese and international brands. These 3 shoes shares that firmness and kind of lack of cushion I felt in each. The 160X series from 6 Pro to 7 Pro shares a lot of similarities with the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 or DNA Flash midsole in terms of midsole firmness. But where the 7 Pro really stands out is its ability to maintain rebound even during a very quick rate of compression and decompression. I didn't compare the 7 Pro to the newer Brooks Elite 4 PB or Elite 5, not because the 7 Pro isn't strong enough, but because once Brooks switched to DNA Gold foam, the Hyperion Elite line became squish and pretty agreeable. They are no longer similar. On the Chinese side, the Li-Ning Feidian 5 Elite is the closest to the 7 Pro. They've got almost identical upper materials, and the ride feels just as firm, as aggressive, and as harsh on the body. Where they differ most is the rocker profile and the position of the carbon plate. In the 5 Elite, the plate is positioned high at the heel and swoops down really low to the toe. The midsole rocker is designed as a heel-to-toe rocker, meaning it also has a continuous curve. All these designs show that the shoe is targeted at high cadence, quick turnover runners. But the 7 Pro takes a different approach. The carbon plate sits more in the middle and then rises gently and gradually toward the back. We do have a little flare at the back of the shoe, but we don't have that continuous curve from heel to toe. I will do a simple test and you will understand the differences between heel to toe rocker and toe rocker. The 7 Pro feels optimized more for runners with strong push-off power, better suited for forefoot or midfoot strikers with longer strides. The other day, I was chatting with a super efficient local female runner, also a college professor, and she loved her 160X 7 Pro in red. She felt every bit of force she put into the shoe got returned super efficiently. She also thought that if the 3 Pro and the 3.5 Pro could be more lightweight, that would be the best Xtep racer. So why hasn't Xtep made a shoe like that in the past 4 years? Exactly what runners are asking for. I think this has to be understood from a business perspective. The 3 Pro series still top sellers today. If Xtep drop a new shoe just feel like them, but lighter, it would prematurely end the life cycle of 3 Pro series. That means growth in new sales would come at the cost of cannibalizing old ones. Sure, total sales might stay flat or even go up a bit, but since new products usually cost more to develop and market, overall profit could actually drop. And when the increment is not enough, the replacement effect will dominate, and drags profits down further. So, when there is already a pair of shoes that are squish and bouncy, and are relatively less demanding on the runners themselves, planning another pair that better suits athletes or elite runners becomes the mission of the 160X 7 Pro. That's how I make sense of Xtep's current strategy. Alright, as always, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe or tips for improving English speaking. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'll bring you more on Chinese running products. Follow if you're interested, and hope you have a good one.